record. And if you guys can go ahead and mute yourselves, that would be, well, let me just do it for you. That would be amazing. I want to let you know that Brianne was planning on being on the call from her car, but she ran out of gas about 30 minutes outside of her house, and she has no service, and her husband is on the way with, I guess they have a gas tank on their farm. I mean, of course they do. And so he is to the rescue, but she will not be on the call tonight. She just wanted you guys to know that she is going to watch back the recording. And speaking of Brianne, I don't know if you're not on Brianne's team and you're on my team, I want to let you know that she launched her website yesterday, briannecoolidge.com, and you guys, it is a work of art. And she has a lot of free things on there for you, a lot of free content. And then I think if you subscribe for $10 a month, you have access to everything she ever does, which is always worth it. And that is really nothing. $10 a month is nothing. So go check that out. I'm so happy for her. She put a lot of work and effort into that. Her and we both have the same virtual assistant. So just so you know, to go check that out. And I had a couple other announcements. Next week, I'm excited for next week. We're going to take a brief pause in our efforts to learn how to write to begin to spend some time on what to do when your writing is successful and people reach out. We have a lot of newer people that really haven't done this before and are just starting out and have a lot of questions about, well, what do I do when they ask for info? What's the right protocol? What is the system that I fall into? So we're going to take some time to do that. If you're a veteran, though, that doesn't mean that there won't be something good for you in there. If nothing else, it will help you have clear in your mind the system to be able to teach it to your people that are coming on. The other thing we're going to do next week is it is the beginning of Q4. It is the beginning of our Leaders Retreat contest. So October, November, and December are when your business activities will earn you credits to earn a free trip to Orlando, Florida, to our Leaders Retreat. I earned the Leaders Retreat 5 years ago for the first time. It is where I caught the vision. I was a brand new gold ambassador by accident. And I said, where has this been all my life? I am going to do this. This is worth doing, and I'm going to go to the top of this company. And that sort of vision is what you gain, not to mention a free trip to Orlando. And they have amazing events every night. It is just such a fun time. And so I think a lot of you on this call, there is no reason that you can't be there. So we're going to do some goal setting. And actually a lot of the documents that Brianne has created on her website will feed into that. So that's what we're going to do next week. And then we will get back to more learning how to write better, more consistently. Tonight, we're going to dive a bit deeper into what Brianne was talking about last week about confidence and conviction. Those are two very important things that you have to have. And we want to add one more component to it and talk about certainty. So there's the 3 C's: confidence, conviction, and certainty. They all sound a little bit alike, but it is certainty that sells. So if you have your PDF, you can begin filling that out. Certainty sells. Not your certainty. Your confidence and conviction will create their certainty. Okay? So confidence is something you have in yourself, your products, your business, or your offer. But certainty is something that you want to inspire in your audience, because your audience wants to feel that you can help. They also need to know that you are the person for that job. They might believe that what you have will help, but if you're not a person who inspires confidence, you still might lose that person to another person who is selling what you're selling. I've said this before that I've had so many people come to me and say, I know a lot of people that sell plexus, but you're just the most confident. That means in there, what they're saying is, I feel certain that my journey with you is going to be superior. And they also mean I'm consistent. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how to how to inspire certainty in your audience as we go. But the reason that y'all are here in this workshop is because I made you, or Brienne made you certain that we could help you. And then we delivered. You may have even felt like, oh gosh, another thing, another workshop. What if this doesn't work? What if I go all in and I don't get results? But the posts that we put out there were so certain that it would help you, that it spilled over onto you and it made you click that link. We used phrases like, for 12 weeks, we will learn to do one thing and do it well. I will teach you how to. By the end of this, you will be very glad you did this. Now, notice we didn't talk about me. I didn't talk about my problem, or maybe I did at the beginning, but then I very quickly talked about you and what was keeping you up at night as it relates to building a business. You want this, but you don't know how. You don't know what you're doing wrong. You wonder what to do, how to post. We can help you with that. So do you see how all of those words are so certain? At the end of the day, people are consumed with their thoughts, their feelings, their problems, which is why in my copywriting do's and don'ts last week, I talked about, yeah, you got to tell your story, but then you got to move on pretty quickly to their story and how you can help. Most people in the world, including yourself, love to talk about themselves. They love to have you talk about them too. This is exponentially true in Hollywood, but it's true pretty much everywhere. I also, here's another thing that I did that is why you're here, or we did. We presented this professionally. When I had the idea to do this, I found the best graphics arts person in this company, who also is extremely good at understanding human behavior, because I saw that that was exhibited in her writing. We planned it together for 6 weeks ahead of time. We didn't just throw this together, you guys. We got on a call every week and gave each other assignments of how to plan this. All of that made you certain that we were the leaders you wanted to follow and that this would be a wise endeavor. So what's going to get them to click the link or comment on your post or reach out to you privately is that they know what you have to offer and that they have some level of certainty with what you're offering, but mainly they have certainty in you. So there's 2 questions you got to ask yourself. Am I selling from a place of certainty? And if not, why not? And Brienne talked a little bit about that last week. And number 2, how can I sell certainty to my audience? Certainty is contagious. And the fastest way to sell certainty is to first sell yourself on this. You got to be certain, you got to be confident that what you're telling people. That's why she asked you last week, how certain are you on a scale of 1 to 10 in your products, your business, your offer? Mainly though, certainty is synonymous with leadership. The most important, or the most certain person in the room. Have you ever experienced this? You walk into a room and nobody knows what's going on, or it's like maybe a meeting of some sort and nobody's getting it going. And finally, there's a certain person that will stand up and be like, all right, let's get this show on the road. She may not know any more than you do, but she's just certain that we need to get this show on the road. And so she's the one that's perceived as the leader. Certainty creates authority with your audience, and people tend to follow people that have authority. I think that's one of the reasons this came a little bit more naturally to me when I got into this business, because as an actor, we are taught from the get go to walk into audition rooms with certainty, even if we're scared to death. You don't want to go in there and be unsure of yourself, because then they're like, well, dang, if she's unsure of herself in the audition room, what's she going to be like on set? And so I learned to walk into the room with a sense of, I am the person that you need to hire that will get this job done and create the most compelling character possible. Of all of the 100 people you're going to see today, I'm the one. And so I learned to do that. And so when I started posting about Plexus, I mean, maybe not right away. I had a lot to learn, but at some point I started saying, look, this is what works to fix this problem. And if you do it, this is the results you're going to get. I know, because it happened for me and it can happen to you. And that's why people chose to follow me into the Plexus world. This is why we say that more important than knowing what to do is knowing who to be. Some of you have some work to do on who you are as it relates to interacting with other people so that they will follow you. It's why personal development as a human being is probably the most important component of success in this industry. At the beginning of this journey, people are like, personal development's the most important. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Just tell me what to do. It does not matter if I know what to do if I don't know how to be or who to be. Who has heard people say, when you present the business opportunity to them, oh gosh, I'm not a salesperson, I'm terrible at sales. What do they mean when they say that? If you break that down, what they really mean is, I'm not good at convincing anyone to do anything. I'm not a leader. I've never been a leader. And that comes from a place of being uncertain. And so people aren't confident that what they're saying is the right thing to do, or that they're the right person to do it with. So if people aren't tending to follow you, here's where a little tough love comes in. Ask yourself, how reliable are you about other things in life besides Plexus? Notice I didn't say, how loud are you? How gregarious are you? How much do you take over a room? You don't have to be any of those things, but you do need to be a reliable person. Quiet people can be reliable. Certain people, or reliable people, have certain characteristics. Here's a few of them. They do what they say they will. If they say they're going to show up, they show up. If they say they're going to call, they call. They aren't flaky. Okay, that's number one. They're reliable, really. Number two, they don't wait to be told what to do. They would rather move forward with confidence, even if there's a risk of failure involved, because they know that in any endeavor, you either get the result you want or you learn the lesson that you need. And honestly, both are necessary. So failure doesn't bother them. Some of you won't even send out a message without my approval. Okay, you've got to learn to trust yourself more, because other people pick up on that. They sense that. And they're like, ooh, she seems a little hesitant. I don't know if I trust my own health journey to that person. Number three, they're constantly working on improving themselves and the lives of people around them. Okay, now notice I said improving. You don't got to be perfect, but you do need to be certain about the direction you're moving in before other people will follow you. And this all comes through in the way you write. Okay, you could have 100 pounds to lose. But if you've already lost 10 or 20 or 50, and you're moving forward confidently, people don't care that you're not there yet. Only that you're confident about the direction that you're headed. This is why, and I did this at first. I bet all of you did this. Put a 1 in the comments if you did this. You did a post back in the beginning that said something like, now I'm not the person to like, I don't sell stuff. I'm not trying to sell this to you, but who has done that? Let me just see. Yep, Denise has done it. And we do that because we don't want people to think, yeah, lots of 1s coming through now. I thought there were more than that. We don't want people to think we're selling them something, but did you know that that actually has the opposite effect on your audience? When you say, I'm not trying to sell anything to you, it is much better to say, I am going to sell you on why you need this. People want to be sold to as long as they know that what you have is going to help them solve a problem. Okay, so let's make a pact never to say, now I'm not trying to sell you something. I'd love for some of you to incorporate in your post this week. Yes, I am. I am going to sell you on the fact. In fact, I'm going to use it this week because the post that I'm going to do, and I'll give you your assignment soon, is I am going to talk about my friend Robin, who had to get a very high level medical test done to get some business insurance. And it was very extensive and exhaustive. She's been on the triplex for 4 years, and her blood work came back as at the highest rating. So yeah, I'm going to sell you that if you want really good blood work, this is what you need to do. Okay? All right. So let's see. If you watch any movie from the Middle Ages where there's like a battle scene about to happen, okay? And you see the army there and they're all nervous. They got their shields, they got their spears. And then the perceived leader, like for example, Henry V, who probably gave one of the most famous speeches ever before St. Crispin's Day, he gallops around in front of them. You know what he's doing? Selling certainty. You don't see Henry V galloping around in front of the audience saying things like, now guys, I'm not trying to sell you on this battle here. I mean, I think the battle is a good idea, but if you don't, there's a 60-day money back guarantee. And if you join me, I think we're going to be okay. You don't see him saying that. You see him sitting up straight in his saddle. He might have a beat of silence first where he just looks at his men. And then he launches forth with, he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispin, and he that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when the day is named and rouse him at the name of Crispin. He that shall live this day to see old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is Saint Crispin. And then he will strip his sleeve and he will show his scars and he will say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Thank you very much. He's selling them on 2 things. He's selling them on potential death and wounds that scar. And because his certainty that it was better to gain one or the other of those rather than run away, he had them all like, yes. And severely outmanned, they won the battle. You're telling people to drink a yummy pink drink and you can't be certain? You're saying, well, I mean, you can try it, but if you hate it, there's a 60-day money back guarantee. And then you wonder why no one's following you into battle. Okay, so the degree in which your audience takes action is mirrored with how certain they feel about you, your offer, your product, or your service, which is mirrored by how certain you make them feel about it and how certain you are about it. And I'm going to add being so certain that you don't quit talking about it. Okay, so let's do a quick exercise that's going to help you learn to change your verbiage from uncertain to certain. Okay, in the chat or on your page, change the following phrases to one that makes your audience certain that you can help. How could you change "this is the best thing I've ever done" into something that will make them certain? Type it into the chat. Change my view so I can see all of you. I know we're going to be okay. This is the best thing you will ever do. You will not regret trying this. This is the best thing you will ever do for yourself. Love it. The one I came up with is, if you give this time and consistency, this will be the best thing you ever do. Great. Number 2, I'm learning how to take care of my gut and keep it healthy. What can you change that to? Taking care of your gut leads to a healthier you. Yep. Or let's even make it more certain. If you take care of your gut, you will lead yourself to a healthier you. I'm taking care of my gut and I'm ready to help you take care of yours. How about, with these proven products, you will learn to take care of your gut and keep it healthy. All right. I think I put one more there for you. Taking care of you, of your you. Let's see, wait. Taking care of your you will become a healthier you. Let me teach you how to trust your gut and keep it healthy. Good job, good job, good job. Very nice. So this week's assignment, you had a little break last week. We did one sentence. It was really funny how a lot of you were like, I can't keep it to one sentence. But you could, we helped. So this week we're going to go back to some longer form writing. We're going to shift from talking about ourselves for the most part. We're going to talk about them. So I want you to take a look at the first 2 posts you did as it relates to what I call the 3 W's. We kind of rotate around between the 3 W's: weight loss, wellness, wealth. Okay, so we talk about how this can help people lose weight, how it can keep them well, but also a lot of people are financially ill in this country, and there really is no better opportunity than this industry to fix that and to fix it flexibly. So if you talked about weight loss twice, you might want to choose wellness. If you talked about wellness twice, you might want to choose weight loss. Maybe weight loss isn't your story, but that's okay. It's other people's story. Borrow somebody else's story. I will tell you that next week you will talk about wealth and the business, whether you like it or not, because that's going to be the assignment. So just know that. So if you want to do 2 in a row, you could. I want you to take one problem, just one. For me, it's going to be wellness, healthy blood work as it relates to cholesterol, triglycerides, lipids, blood pressure, all of it. And I want you to focus on your audience, what is keeping them up at night. And I want you to use words of certainty to make them see that you're the answer to that problem. Okay? I believe there's some stuff on the PDF that will help you work through how to write that. Again, we will work through some of these. So send them to either Brianne or myself, and we will help you work through how to make them better for Wednesday. Any questions? You can unmute yourself if you like.
So the only direction is right about one of the W's?
Yes, but write it about it as it relates, just one problem. Pick one problem. It can be anything.
No problem.
A single problem. Health, it could be gut issues, it could be headaches, it could be
Do we use the same format of like hook, present a problem, present a solution, make a challenge, or
yep.
make a
But this
action?
one, we want it to be more about them, and I think I put put a little bit of an outline on the PDF for you. Did I not there? No, it didn't make it on. Not talk about ourselves. You can touch on yourself.
You got the examples, the phrases.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You can use the same format as before, where you want to lay out a problem, you want to agitate the problem, but rather than doing it about yourself, you want to focus on them and their problem and what's keeping them at night. Recommended photo? No, not necessarily. You send one that you think, Jackie, and then, doesn't have to, you don't always have to have a photo of you with a product, or it could just be you with your pink drink, because that sort of represents all of Plexus products, all of health. If you just have a cute picture of you with your pink drink, that's usually what I do when I want it to be generic. Or, I just do one of me looking healthy. For my photo, what I'm going to do is I took a photo of me with my friend Robin this week. Took it today. I'm going to use that one and say, my friend Robin has amazing blood work. Okay? Any other questions? I applaud you guys for being on this call, for being consistent. And I'm going to sell you right now on sticking with this for October, November, and December, and being consistent with your copy, because I'm standing with you on this battlefield, and you might be wounded on this field, but I promise you, you won't die. For this is the battlefield for health, for wellness, both for your friends and family and yourself, in body and in bank account. And she, which hath no stomach to this fight, who wilts with every no, who crumbles at the first sign of adversity, who becomes bitter instead of better, let her depart. We release her back to the comfortable with love and kindness. For on this field belong ones with vision, who see beyond rejection, beyond a temporarily turned off subscription, beyond the misguided thoughts of others about this way of life, to a future that is brighter than would have ever been possible, who steadfastly saves sisters and mothers and fathers from depression, fatigue, pain, and pounds, and with consistency produces certainty in herself and her fellows. She will stand a tiptoe when the day is named on the beaches of Hawaii, arrayed in white, and together with those who lived to see the day with her will shout, "This is the Emerald Extravaganza, and we are jewels." Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you Wednesday.